And Kiely, we love you, and if you see this, please just come home.
I just really feel for her family.
And that is for this family. We've said that from day one.
But it also raises many questions.
Do you have a favorite song or a favorite line from a song? Perhaps a few words that you can relate to so well, you feel like that song was written for you. Well, sometimes this can get really eerie. In the case of Kiely Rodni, it was two really odd signs that connected to her mysterious disappearance in August 2022. And both signs were engraved on hoodies. But what were the odds of her wearing the two hoodies that night? And what really happened to her?
I have two daughters. She has a daughter. We just really feel for her family.
Kiely lived a perfectly normal teenage life, at least as far as everyone knew. But one day everything changed, and to this day, there are still more questions than answers when it comes to her case. Let's dive in and uncover the truth behind the Lana del Rey lyric that was left at a murder scene, and all the creepy twists behind Kiely Rodni's case. Today's case begins in Truckee, California. It's a hot, small town with a strange history. In 2020, its population was counted at 16,666, and in 1846, a group of American pioneers called the Donner Party were moving through California when they got stuck right where Truckee is today. Heavy snow and harsh weather kept them prisoners for so long that they turned to cannibalism to survive, and more than half of them died. Luckily, Truckee is a much more peaceful and welcoming place today. In 2022, it was also home to Kiely Rodni, a 16-year-old girl who had tons of friends and smiled all the time. She was also a musician with huge aspirations and great hopes for her career, and everyone who knew her as a happy person, which is why what's about to happen is truly strange. On August 5th, 2022, Kiely headed out to a huge party at the Prosser family campground, 17 miles away from Lake Tahoe and 36 miles away from Reno, Nevada. Around 300 teenagers attended the party, and as you can imagine, there was loud music, drinking, and chaos well into the morning hours of the next day. Just before midnight, Kiely texted her mom, Lindsay. She'd be back home in about 45 minutes. Lindsay then texted her back asking her to drive safely. She ended the message with, "I love you," and Kiely wrote, "Okay, Mom, I love you too." A simple and beautiful message from a daughter to her mom. But there's a tragic twist. This was the last message Lindsay ever received from her daughter. Kiely never made it home that night, or the next day, or the next. Her parents were desperate. Millions of scenarios were running through their minds. Had someone done something horrible to Kiely at the party? Had she run away? Was there a secret about Kiely that her family didn't know? Lindsay called 911 right away, and while the police were assembling a search force, she made a plea on TV.
And Kiely, we love you, and if you see this, please just come home. I want nothing more than to hug you.
She even thought more people were involved in this disappearing and assured them that nothing bad would happen to them as long as Kiely came home.
And we're not looking to bust anybody else or get anybody in trouble. We just want to see our daughter home.
But no matter how long and hard the Truckee police would look for Kiely, she wouldn't show up. So they went another way too, gathering as many clues about the last night as they could. One thing stood out. She'd come to the party wearing this hoodie.
At this point, we don't want to compromise the investigation, so this was the only photo we were able to release.
Odd future. It's a music collective, sure, but to wear it on the evening you vanish? Sheesh. Then, as the police officers spoke to the teens who were at the same party, it got even weirder. A few witnesses said Kiely had borrowed another hoodie into the party. It was this one. This is a Lana del Rey hoodie, reading the following lyrics on the chest.
You don't want to be forgotten. You just want to disappear.
How uncanny is that? It's unclear who Kiely had borrowed the hoodie from, but that she was wearing it when she was last seen about a half hour after midnight on August 6th. Kiely was also wearing a black spaghetti strap bodysuit green Dickies pants with a black grommet belt, and black Vans that night. So it seemed like now the police had enough clues to continue their search and eventually find Kiely. But the more they looked for her, the stranger things got. 2 weeks after Kiely's disappearance, the police and several volunteers were still searching frantically for her. Missing signs of Kiely and her Honda CR-V were shown everywhere, from media to social media to billboards on the streets. Thousands of tips were pouring in every single day, but they weren't pointing anywhere. The sheriff's department stressed how important it was for the teenagers who were at the party to speak up, as they were collaborating with rather than being investigated by the police.
And, you know, it's very hard. I'm a criminal defense attorney, so naturally my inclination is to tell every single kid that was there to have a lawyer, because they may say something innocuous and that could be taken in a way to indicate that something happened that didn't.
In short, this was a tricky situation. If another teenager knows something but they're afraid saying it would get them in trouble, it's most likely they never will. And this makes the investigation so much slower.
If anyone has more video that they have not submitted, please, there's no small amount of information for us. And more witness accounts from the party. If you have not come forward, if you were there and you saw something, please come forward and let us know.
Sadly, no one did. 300 law enforcement officers and 1,200 tips later, the police decided to take a different route in their investigation. They got in touch with Adventures with Purpose.
We received tens of thousands of requests, as well as multiple phone calls from different agents and detectives. So at that point, we're just a vessel of the community.
So Doug Bishop and Nick Wren, specialist divers who can conduct search parties for free, joined the case. Police had searched the bodies of water around the Prosser family campground, including Big Prosser Lake, but they couldn't find anything. However, Adventures with Purpose have better equipment in this field.
We use cutting-edge Garmin sonar technology. It provides us a down imaging side scan as well as a live scope image. And between the three, we're able to manipulate that to get an accurate reading of what it is that we're seeing.
Doug and Nick collaborated with the Prosser County Police, Nevada Sheriffs, and the FBI. They were called to Truckee on August 15th. 6 days later, their preparation was done and they arrived in town. On August 21st at 10:40 a.m., Doug and Nick put on their diving equipment and went underwater in Prosser Lake. By 11:15, they had emerged with Kiely's Honda CR-V. Inside the car was a body, but it had been underwater for so long it was heavily decomposed, and they couldn't identify it straight away.
The discovery of Kiely Rodni's car and presumably her inside of it answers a question that her loved ones have been struggling with for more than 2 weeks now. But it also raises many questions.
Indeed. Had Kiely been forcefully taken away from the party? Was she trying to get away from someone? Had she had a terrible accident, or was it staged? While the body inside the car was sent to the lab for a full autopsy, several questions fell on the police investigators. Doug and Nick had found Kiely's car 55 feet away from the shore of Prosser Lake. So how come the police weren't able to find it for 2 whole weeks? What's more, her phone had actually pinged off Prosser Lake too. So they knew where they should be looking, and according to them, they did look.
How did we not find it when we were searching? The lake was extensively searched with side sonar, with an ROV. We had divers, we had swimmers. I think that's part of what we're gonna have to go back to do and debrief.
Well, yeah. How could 2 divers locate the Honda in 45 minutes when hundreds of officers couldn't in 2 weeks? Finally, almost 3 weeks from Kiely's disappearance, her family was delivered the grim news. The body found inside the Honda was indeed hers.
We really want to recognize the reason why we're all here, and that is for this family. We've said that from day one.
It was such a sad, sudden end to a life with a bright future. It made so little sense, and to this day it still makes no sense. The case is far from closed. Kiely could have had a horrific accident, but no scenario is ruled out yet. Then came another strange clue. One of Kiely's friends, Samantha Smith, told The Independent that the two had spoken on the phone at around 12:30 a.m. on the night of the party. The girls had been planning on going home together with Kiely driving, but then when they spoke, they figured they should change their plans. Kiely had drunk way too much to drive home that night, so Samantha thought it was wiser if she found someone else to drive her home. So if Kiely had drunk this much, and she knew it, how come she was behind the wheel driving her Honda right into the lake? Did she change her mind at the last minute and decide to drive home disregarding her state of inebriation? Or did someone make her do this? Perhaps she felt pressured by someone at the party. Finally, let us not forget the very creepy hoodie messages that might haunt Kiely's family forever. Lana del Rey spoke about disappearing and being forgotten, and Kiely wore these very lyrics just before losing her life in the strangest way possible. It's hard to imagine the person who lent her the hoodie knew what was about to happen, but the police are not eliminating scenarios, so why should we? Kiely's story shook everyone in Truckee.
Have them find her upside down in her car in the lake was just, thinking about the panic she must have felt was just heartbreaking. I have 2 daughters. She has a daughter. I just really feel for her family.
Whether you have a family or not, hearing how Kiely lost her life definitely strikes a chord. She was a young girl who never hurt a fly and was kind to everyone she knew. She was friendly, happy, and had a million dreams. Kiely's family was, of course, devastated, but they didn't let it show. Instead, they spoke about their gratitude towards everyone who helped them recover. Kiely's story is not over. Far from over. Until the police get to the bottom of the story, her case will never be closed. But can the police figure it out on their own? Remember how 2 divers proved more efficient in an hour than they were in 2 weeks? Perhaps someone needs to speak up, or perhaps the story is very simple and we just don't want to accept it yet. Was Kiely murdered, or was this just a sad accident? And just how meaningful are Lana del Rey's lyrics in this case? Let me know what you think down in the comment section, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more. Till next time, and stay safe.